Working in the fancy furniture business means you meet all kinds of people. But Gabriel was different right from the start. Every Thursday, like clockwork, he would stroll into the showroom. He always had a cup of coffee in one hand and a crooked smile on his face. That made him look like he owned the place, even though he never bought anything. I still remember the very first time he came in. I was carefully arranging a row of expensive Italian leather sofas. These weren't your everyday couches, they cost so much they could make your eyes pop. Gabriel walked over, looking at the price tags, but he didn't have the usual serious look that most shoppers did. He seemed more amused than anything. "Hey there," he said, stepping a little too close to a lamp that cost more than most people's monthly rent. "So, what's the deal with this one? Looks comfy enough to sleep on forever." I laughed a little, moving closer so he wouldn't plop down on it. "It's handmade, top-quality stuff, not really for naps, though." Gabriel laughed and messed up his already messy hair. "I guess I'll keep my shoes off it then." He asked a lot of questions about the furniture, but I could tell he wasn't going to buy anything. He left just as easily as he had come in, tossing a casual, "See you around." A few weeks later, on a quiet afternoon, Gabriel showed up again, wandering in like he owned the place. The store was empty, so I couldn't avoid him this time. "So, Nora," he asked as I leaned against a counter with my arms crossed, "don't you get tired of talking about sofas and coffee tables all day?" I shrugged. "It pays the rent. Besides, I like it well enough. What about you? You come in here all the time but never buy anything. Are you in the furniture business too, or do you just like bugging me?" He laughed, his voice echoing in the quiet showroom. "I'm not here to bug you, I just like the vibe, and, well, you make it fun." That day he stayed longer than usual. We talked about all sorts of things, music, favorite foods, even little stories about our day-to-day lives. When he finally left, he stopped at the door. "Hey, Nora, how about we grab coffee sometime, somewhere other than this showroom full of overpriced chairs?" I paused. Mixing work and personal life felt risky, but I found myself nodding anyway. "Sure, but if you plan on freeloading at the coffee shop too, I'm bringing my calculator." He laughed and promised, "Deal," before disappearing out the door. That first coffee turned into many more. We tried out small, quirky cafes all over the city. We talked about big dreams and silly things. Soon, coffee dates turned into road trips, movie nights that lasted until sunrise, and Sunday walks through flea markets. Gabriel had this way of making even boring moments feel special. One sunny afternoon, we were sitting on a picnic blanket in the park, eating sandwiches and watching the clouds drift by. Out of nowhere, Gabriel got down on one knee. He pulled out a ring that sparkled in the sunlight. "Nora, will you marry me?" he asked, looking at me like I was his whole world. I almost spit out my drink. "Are you for real right now?" He smiled, his eyes hopeful, completely serious. "I want every tomorrow to start with you." I didn't even think twice. "Yes, Gabriel, of course, yes." Meeting his parents was the next step. Gabriel always said they were formal and hard to please, so he set up a dinner at their house. When we got there, I felt like I'd stepped into a weird museum, every corner filled with old fancy stuff that didn't match. His mom, Meline, opened the door. She looked me up and down like I was an interesting piece of furniture she might want to buy. "You must be Nora," she said flatly. "Yes, nice to meet you," I said politely, trying not to feel awkward under her cold stare. Dinner felt stiff. Gabriel tried to make jokes to lighten the mood, but it was clear his parents weren't easily impressed. His dad, Lincoln, only perked up when Gabriel mentioned my job at the luxury furniture store. "So, you sell expensive furniture?" Lincoln asked, raising an eyebrow. "Yes," I said, "I help people pick pieces that make their homes look beautiful." Meline didn't care about my work so much as what it said about my money. "And you have savings? That's good, very good," she said, her tone sharp. After dinner, Meline pulled me into their messy living room, which looked like a cluttered antique shop. "Nora, dear, what would you do with this room?" she asked, waving her hand at the mess. I bit my tongue and smiled politely. "You could pick a single style and stick to it, maybe find some nice but affordable pieces to match, it'll look cleaner and bigger that way." Meline scrunched her nose like I'd insulted her. "I don't want cheaper, I want the real deal, the same stuff you sell, maybe you could get us a discount." She said it like I owed them something. Gabriel just stood there, hoping I'd say yes. "I'll see what I can do," I said, but in my head, I promised myself I'd be careful. Planning the wedding was even trickier. Gabriel's parents wanted a huge, fancy party. One night, Meline dropped a bomb. Women always dream of big weddings, so they should pay for it too, right? She said, smirking. I almost spit out my drink again. Well, this woman wants a simple wedding. I'm not emptying my bank account for one day. Gabriel gave me a helpless look, but this time I wouldn't budge. He finally backed me up. Nora's right, we'll keep it simple. The wedding was small and sweet, just close friends and family in the garden behind our favorite cafe. Meline muttered to someone during the vows. You'd think a girl who sells fancy furniture could do better than this, but I didn't care. I was marrying Gabriel, that was all that mattered. After we got married, Gabriel suggested we rent a big apartment. Decorate it however you want, he said, even though he barely had any money left. I ended up paying most of the rent and buying all the furniture. It cost me a lot, but the place looked stunning, like a page from a design magazine. When Meline visited, she acted like she'd stepped into a movie. I want this for my house too, she said, touching the suede couch like it might vanish. Gabriel bragged to everyone about my decorating skills but never mentioned who paid for it all. Meline even pulled me aside once. Nora, maybe you can help us do the same thing, you're so good with money. I laughed inside. Decorating is one thing, handling money is another. You need a budget. Her face dropped at the word budget like it was a curse. Even though I was spending so much, my hard work at the furniture store finally paid off. I got a promotion to the wholesale department, working with big clients. My new boss, Claire, was young, smart, and we became fast friends. We'd sit and share stories about crazy clients over coffee. One night, Gabriel said, Claire sounds amazing. We should have her over for dinner, show off your decorating magic. Might help your career too. So, we did. I cleaned up and Gabriel decided to cook like he was on a cooking show. Roast chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans, the works. When Claire arrived, she looked around, wide-eyed. Nora, this place is beautiful. You did all this? Before I could answer, Gabriel jumped in, giving her a tour like he owned every chair and pillow. During dinner, he was so loud and funny, hanging on Claire's every word like she was the funniest person alive. It bugged me enough that when she went to the bathroom, I pulled him aside. Why are you acting like this? I whispered. Gabriel leaned close, pretending it was nothing. I'm trying to impress her for you, maybe she'll help you get another promotion. I looked him dead in the eye. I don't need you to charm my boss, Gabriel. I can handle my own career. I can handle my career on my own, I said clearly, my voice steady so Gabriel would hear every word. I didn't want any more fake shows or pretend performances. When Claire came back into the room, we all finished the evening with dessert, chocolate cake. It was her favorite, which I had mentioned to Gabriel once in passing. Of course, he had remembered, but only because it fit into his plan to impress her. Claire praised the cake and thanked us for the lovely dinner before she left. As soon as the door closed behind her, Gabriel threw himself onto the couch like he had just won an award. A big, smug grin spread across his face. See, told you it would go great, he said proudly, like he'd done something amazing. I sat down next to him, but I didn't feel happy. Instead, I felt annoyed and a bit sad. It was nice, but don't do that again, Gabriel. I don't need you putting on a show for my boss. Just be yourself next time. He didn't take it seriously. He waved his hand at me like he was brushing away a fly and turned on the TV. You worry too much, Nora. It was fine. But it wasn't fine, not at all. Deep down, I knew something felt off. Ever since I got promoted at work and started bringing in more money, Gabriel had changed. He found new ways to spend the extra cash. His first idea? Expensive clothes. One evening, he sat next to me with a fancy clothing catalog open on his lap. It was full of pricey suits. Babe, I can't keep wearing these old suits. If you want me to get ahead too, I have to look good. I have to look like someone people take seriously, he said, pointing to a suit that cost more than our monthly groceries. I sighed. I wanted to believe it would help him. Fine, we'll get you some new clothes, but keep it reasonable, okay? Of course, reasonable wasn't in Gabriel's dictionary. He bought the best suits, shiny shoes, fancy ties, and he loved showing them off. A few weeks later, he asked if we should go out to dinner again with Claire. It'll be fun. We can celebrate your promotion a little more, he said, acting so casual. It sounded harmless, so I agreed. The dinner was nice, good food, expensive wine, lots of laughter, but when the bill came, Gabriel grabbed it with a big, fake smile. "Let me get that for you, Claire," he said, puffing out his chest like he was a big spender. Claire looked surprised. "Oh, you really don't have to, but thank you," she said politely. Gabriel leaned close to me and whispered, "Babe, can you pay for this? Just go along with it." I blinked, confused and annoyed, but Claire was still at the table, so I just nodded. When she wasn't looking, I passed my credit card to the waiter. Gabriel sat back, grinning like he'd just closed $1 million deal. After that, this routine kept happening. Dinners turned into weekend trips, fancy restaurants turned into luxury beach resorts, and every time, Gabriel would promise people, "Don't worry about money, we've got it covered," but we always meant me. One night at a beach resort, I signed another huge bill. Gabriel leaned over and patted my back. "Isn't this great? Claire's having an amazing time. This is good for your career, Nora, trust me." That night, in our hotel room, I couldn't stay quiet any longer. "Gabriel, I can't do this anymore. All these trips, these dinners, it's too much. We're supposed to be a team, but it feels like you're just spending my money. I feel like your wallet, not your wife." His smile vanished. He turned cold, his eyes sharp. "I'm doing this for you, for us. You're ungrateful. If you can't see that, maybe you should just handle your perfect career on your own." After that, he changed even more. He started coming home late, claiming he was working late or having meetings. He got secretive, calls in the middle of the night, unexplained absences. I felt more alone than ever. The man who once made simple things feel special was gone, replaced by someone I hardly recognized. Then, one afternoon, Claire called me into her office. Her voice on the phone was tight. My stomach twisted into knots as I knocked on her door. Inside, her usually tidy office looked messy, flowers, wrapped boxes, and fancy bags piled in a corner. Claire's serious face told me this wasn't good news. "Nora, please sit down," she said gently. I sat down, trying to steady my breathing. "It's about Gabriel," she began. My heart dropped. She pointed to the gifts. "These are from him, flowers, jewelry, designer clothes. It's too much. He's been crossing lines, Nora. He keeps trying to turn our work relationship into something personal. He makes little comments, tries to flirt, even though I've told him to stop." My face burned with embarrassment. "Claire, I didn't know. I'm so sorry," I whispered. She leaned forward, her voice softer now. "I know this isn't your fault. I respect you too much not to tell you, but I can't accept this behavior anymore. It's not fair to you." I nodded, my throat tight. "Thank you for telling me. I'll handle it." That night, when I got home, Gabriel was packing a suitcase on our bed. He looked up at me with a fake smile. "There you are. Great timing. I've got news. I quit my job today, and I think it's time my parents move in here. You can find somewhere else, right? This place is too big for just me and them." I stared at him, too shocked to speak. "What? Why would I move out of my own home?" He shrugged, completely casual. "Come on, Nora, you make good money, get yourself another apartment. No big deal." I felt my anger boiling. "No big deal? You cheated, lied, and spent my money like it was nothing, and now you want to kick me out?" He rolled his eyes. "Cheated? Seriously? With Claire? She's rich, Nora, smarter, more successful. You should be grateful I tried to get close to her, for us." Tears burned my eyes. "You're unbelievable. Claire wants nothing to do with you. She told me everything." Gabriel's face fell. He tried to cover it up with a smirk but failed. "Well, good luck on your own then." I slept in the guest room that night, staring at the ceiling, my mind made up. By morning, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I found a new, smaller apartment online and signed the lease right away. I called movers and started packing before Gabriel even woke up. When he stumbled out in his bathrobe, the living room was half empty. "What's happening?" he asked, his voice cracking. I held up a fat folder full of receipts. "I'm taking what's mine, Gabriel, all this furniture, I paid for it, so it's coming with me." Right then, his parents walked in. Meline gasped when she saw the empty space. "Stop, this furniture is ours," she shrieked. The movers looked at me. I gave them a calm nod. "Keep going." Meline spun on Gabriel. "What did you do? We were supposed to live here in comfort, with her money." Gabriel just stood there, looking helpless. I almost felt sorry for him, but not really. I turned to Meline, my voice cool and calm. Don't worry, Meline, I'm sure Gabriel's new dream will work out for you. She glared at him. So, will Claire buy us new furniture too? Will she support you now? I laughed a little. Claire wants nothing to do with either of you. She's sending all the gifts back. Gabriel opened his mouth but no words came out. He looked like a boy who had been caught stealing cookies. Meline threw her hands up in the air. You fool, she snapped at him. You lost the best thing you ever had. Gabriel turned to me, voice trembling. Nora, wait, we can fix this, please, let's start over. I handed him an envelope, divorce papers. This is the start over. My lawyer will be in touch. When I stepped out of that apartment for the last time, I didn't look back. In my new place, small but bright and cozy, I felt free. I painted the walls deep green and blue, colors that felt fresh and alive. I chose furniture that was warm and simple, all of it paid for by me, just like before, but this time, it was for me alone. Gabriel and his parents couldn't keep up with the rent. They moved to a rundown old apartment. Meline ended up working in a cheap store. Gabriel refused to get a normal job, still hoping for a big break that would never come. One day, Meline called, trying to sound sweet. Hi, dear, how have you been? We miss you. I laughed. You don't miss me, you miss my money. She tried to argue. We're family. I sighed. Family doesn't use each other. Goodbye, Meline, and I blocked her number. At work, Claire trusted me more than ever. She knew my worth. She hinted at another promotion, something bigger than I'd ever dreamed of. One evening, sitting at my dining table surrounded by new friends, people who liked me for me, I realized I hadn't just escaped a bad marriage. I'd found myself again, and this time, nobody could take that away.